Okay, so today we're going deep on this whole light in a dark world thing. We're looking at this text, How to Be a Light in a Dark World.
Okay.
And it's written from a Christian perspective.
Right.
But honestly, I think there's a lot here for anyone, even if, you don't come from that background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think the core ideas here are pretty universal.
Yeah, for sure.
And actually, one of the things that really struck me about this source was that it doesn't try to sugarcoat things, you know? It acknowledges that, yeah, the world can be a pretty messed up place.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And we all experience that darkness in different ways.
Definitely. And it doesn't just stop at acknowledging the darkness, right? It's like, okay, so what do we do about it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about feeling bad for the state of the world or whatever. It's about, okay, what can we actually do to make things better?
Exactly. It's about taking action.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes this source so practical and so powerful.
For sure. So it starts by defining darkness, and it's not just talking about the absence of light, literal darkness.
Right.
It's talking about all the stuff that can make the world feel heavy and overwhelming.
Yeah, like injustice and broken relationships.
Exactly. All the suffering we see, both personal and, on a global scale.
Right. All that stuff that can make you feel kind of hopeless sometimes.
Yeah, totally. And then it brings in this image from the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
From John 1.5.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Which talks about light shining in the darkness and the darkness can't overcome it.
Right. It's this idea of an inner light that can withstand anything.
Like a flame that just won't go out no matter how hard the wind blows.
Exactly. And I think that's such a powerful metaphor for how we can approach the darkness in the world.
Yeah. It gives me chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So how does this source say we can actually become that light?
Well, it breaks it down into 3 main actions.
Okay.
Living out love, speaking truth with grace, and reflecting peace and joy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with living out love. So the source is really emphasizing that it's not enough to just, say you love people.
Yeah, it's got to be more than words.
Right. It's about actually showing love through your actions.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives some really concrete examples like choosing kindness over judgment. Going out of your way to help someone in need and offering forgiveness even when it's hard.
Yeah, those are really powerful examples.
And I think those are things that resonate with everyone, regardless of their religious beliefs,
Oh, absolutely.
Who doesn't want more kindness and forgiveness in the world?
Right. It's just good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's speaking truth with grace.
Right. And that one feels especially relevant these days.
Oh my gosh, yes, with everything so divided and polarized.
It can be so hard to have conversations about difficult topics without things getting, heated.
For sure. And this source acknowledges that.
Yeah. It talks about how important it is to balance honesty with compassion.
Like you can be truthful without being brutal.
Exactly. There's a quote in there, actually, from Ephesians about speaking the truth in love.
Right.
And I think that sums it up perfectly.
Yeah. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can be both honest and kind.
It's a tough balance, but I think it's so important.
For sure. Okay, so what about reflecting peace and joy?
Right, because that can feel kind of impossible sometimes.
Yeah, with all the craziness going on in the world, it's like,
how am I supposed to feel peaceful in the middle of all this?
right.
But the source argues that we can actually tap into a deeper source of peace. Not by ignoring the darkness, but by, drawing on something bigger than ourselves.
Okay.
There's this passage in Philippians that talks about not being anxious about anything.
Oh, yeah.
But bringing your requests to God with thanksgiving.
So it's about finding that inner peace even when things are tough.
Exactly. And letting that peace radiate outwards.
I like that. Because even if someone isn't religious,
right.
that kind of inner peace can have a ripple effect on the people around them.
Totally. It's contagious.
Okay, so we've talked about acknowledging the darkness, choosing actions that bring light, and, remembering that it's not about being perfect.
Right, because none of us are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The source actually says that it's not really about us at all.
Yeah, it's more about letting something greater work through us.
Like being a vessel or something.
Exactly. We're just the instruments.
I like that.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I think the challenge for all of us is to figure out how we can put these ideas into practice in our own lives.
Yeah, because it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to actually do it.
Right.
Right. So here's something to think about.
Okay.
If you had to pick just one of these actions to focus on this week, living out love, speaking truth with grace, or reflecting peace, which one do you think would make the biggest difference in your little corner of the world?
That's such a good question.
It might be different for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's about finding what resonates with you most deeply.
Exactly. And then just seeing what happens when you really commit to it. Yeah. What happens when you consciously choose to be a light, even when things feel dark?
Because even a small act of kindness or a moment of peace can make a difference.
Absolutely. So we encourage you to take that challenge this week
Pick one action and just see what happens.
and let us know how it goes.
We'd love to hear about it.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
Bye.